The stories you are about to see are real. The rewards up to $5 million are real. This is Crime Reports and Rewards with Griff Griffin and Dave Michaels, where you stay anonymous, the criminals don't.
The Augusta Chronicle's crime reporter Doug Stutzman reports that intruders were unsuccessful in an attempt to break into the C&M Curb Market store through the roof. Burglars unsuccessfully attempted to break into an Augusta business through its roof. Late Sunday or early Monday, at least one person tried to break into C&M Curb Market in the 600 block of East Boundary Street by removing a corner of the building's roof, according to a Richmond County Sheriff's Office incident report. Deputies found tools on the roof and shingles and felt paper had been removed. But the burglars didn't get in and nothing was taken from the business. No suspect information was available. Dick Tomey, a frequent commenter on the Augusta Chronicle's comment section, wrote, "Found tools on the roof and shingles and felt paper had been removed." He responded, "You can bet that's the closest they've been to work tools or work. Apparently they were too ignorant to use the tools and too lazy to finish the work." "One guess," I responded with, "This is a growing trend. Go ahead, nail it down. They'll bring a nail puller. I've only been retired as your Crime Stopper for a couple of weeks and everything's just fine, right?" If you know who or where these attempted burglars may be, we urge you to contact the police. If they do a press release saying a Crime Reports and Rewards tip led to an arrest, you, the tipster, will be paid. Columbia County Sheriff's deputies are looking for the black female you see on your screen. She walked into the Grovetown Walmart, found some old receipts, placed those items listed on the receipts in a shopping cart, and returned them for cash. The black female you see on your screen used 3 different receipts, returning 4 items total, and received $50.53 in refund cash. A copy of the receipt was turned in with this report. The black female you see on your screen then left the scene in a tan in color passenger car prior to the officer's arrival. If you think you know who or where she may be, please call the Columbia County Sheriff's Office at 706-541-2800. Crime Reports and Rewards at 803-441-8744. Or any other law enforcement entity wherever you may be able to find this black female, which could be almost anywhere, Augusta, North Augusta, this whole area, Edgefield, Rennes, Thompson. We're all out there listening to 16.1 and 103 on Comcast and all these different channels we're on. And if the press does a press release saying a Crime Reports and Rewards tip led to an arrest, if you're the tipster, you will be paid. Augusta Chronicle crime reporter Doug Stutzman reports an Augusta man was shot to death on Barnes Avenue Wednesday afternoon. Carlton Dion Nipple, who is 34 years of age, was shot at least once in the chest about 3 p.m. in the 1900 block of Barnes Road. Nipple was pronounced dead at Georgia Regional Medical Center at 3:39 p.m., according to the Richmond County Deputy Coroner Kenneth Bowes. No suspect information was immediately available, according to Sergeant Michael McDaniel. Nipple's death marks the first homicide in Richmond County since June 13. Counting Nipple's death, there have been 11 homicides so far this year. I replied to the story on the Griff Griffin Facebook page and our Crime Reports and Rewards Facebook page with prayers for him and all concerned anyway. It's only been a couple of weeks since I retired as your Crime Stopper, and the citizens are doing just fine, right? Facepalm. So you may have heard of all the people who have been killed all over the world and now are beginning to be killed here in the U.S. by Islamic terrorists. In this picture, we have the man who's guarding our troops right here in Augusta from an Islamic terrorist attack or any other kind of attack. When I went by and spoke with Jim, I noticed that he didn't have any armor on. And knowing the first thing an Islamic terrorist is going to try to do is take out the guard, which leaves everyone around completely helpless, because right now it's against the law for an American soldier in a recruiting center to be able to defend themselves. A lot of people don't realize that an American soldier is going up for court-martialing because he killed the Islamic terrorist that killed the Marines and the sailor in Tennessee. Now, I know that sounds crazy, that an American soldier killed the terrorist that was killing other people is now going to go to court-martial. But just as someone from the State Department said the other day, the State Department said, America is an Islamic country. And when I see how people are being treated here when they try to speak out against Islamic terrorism, this guy that you see on your screen has been very, very badly treated for no other reason than he's trying to warn Americans about Islamic terrorists. So I went by and loaned him one of my flak jackets because he's guarding our troops, and the Islamic terrorists would just love to kill him. They're saying the Muslims called the FBI to report this armed patriot standing guard in front of the Augusta Military Recruitment Center, and they find it very offensive that they cannot attack that location and kill those American soldiers because this guy is standing guard over it. So they've called the FBI and they're complaining about the guard who's standing between them and their being able to kill our American troops. Muslims from the Islamic Society of Augusta consider this armed man to be a threat to them, because if they try to kill our soldiers, this guard, who is a former police officer, is well equipped to stop them. I mean, he is going to stop them from killing our soldiers if he possibly can. So they consider him a threat because they can't kill our soldiers without him killing them. Okay. So they reported him to the FBI, and they're trying to get him in trouble any way they can. Not surprisingly, the man guarding our soldiers is smart enough not to take the Muslims up on their sinister ploy. Jim Statuick has made a promise to stand on Wrightsboro Road near Augusta Mall armed with his rifle and pistol and a sign that Muslims perceive as a negative message, so that he can protect our military recruitment centers in the local shopping mall. Jim started guarding our troops, who are completely unarmed and are sitting ducks to any jihadi that decides they want to kill them, or really anybody else. Anybody can come up and kill our troops anytime they feel like it. And you've heard about attacks on our troops popping up all over the country. But Jim started this right after a man claiming he was a Muslim killed Marines in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Mohammed Dowdy, the imam for the Islamic Center in Martinez, is upset that jihad cannot be launched against our troops without this man who's guarding our troops possibly shooting the Islamic terrorist. So they've reported him, the man guarding our troops, to the FBI and are putting him on watch. Dowdy says he has a history of anti-Muslim slogans, and he is not happy, this man guarding our troops, is not happy about Islamic terrorists killing our troops. Well, no kidding. We're not happy about Islamic terrorists killing our troops and our people either. But one extra thing is happening every time Jim takes his position on Wrightsboro Road across from Augusta Mall near the military recruiting centers. Crime Reports and Rewards has checked the crime stats very carefully. Nobody's getting raped, no carjackings, no robberies, no, crime comes to a halt when this man guarding our troops shows up with his rifle and his pistol. Now he's just guarding our troops, but when all the bad guys ride up to steal, rob, rape, carjack, and do all the other terrible things they do, they see the man guarding the troops with the gun. And they go, whoa, let's find another place to be. So the side effect of Jim guarding our troops from Islamic terrorists is that whenever Jim shows up, crime plummets. Once again, it proves that it takes a good guy to stop bad guys with guns. We posted this picture of me giving Jim, who's guarding our troops and just stopping crime left and right in that part of our town. Every time he shows up, crime just plummets. We posted it on our Facebook page, which would be Griff Griffin and Crime Reports and Rewards. And we've got a tremendous amount of response. We got people putting memes of our respect for me giving Jim, loaning him one of my flak jackets, and a lot of positive feedback from the entire community. So we invite you to go to Griff Griffin on Facebook or search for Crime Reports and Rewards on Facebook and post what you think about Jim guarding our troops, or if you've got an opinion on Islamic terrorism or whatever, or crime plummeting whenever a guy shows up with a rifle loaded up with rounds. Please go to our Facebook page. Post your comments. We want to know what you think. Thank you for your time. We interrupt the production of this show to give you a last-minute Associated Press news release. Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. A 21-year-old Hilton Head Island man has died after being shot in what Beaufort County Sheriff's Office is calling a road rage incident on the island. Multiple media reports that Rashad Spikes was pronounced dead early Wednesday after the Tuesday evening incident. Officials say that before his death, Spikes told investigators he had yelled out his window after a driver traveling in the opposite direction veered into his lane, nearly causing a collision. Spikes said he and the two passengers in his car later noticed the same silver-colored vehicle trailing them, with the driver firing at least 2 shots. Captain Bob Bromage says Spikes was struck at least once, but a scheduled autopsy could reveal another injury. Authorities do not have a description of the driver or the passengers in the suspect vehicle. All we know, it was a silver in color vehicle. That's it. That's all we got. Because we're one of the closest places to blend in over a state line, we should be on the lookout for this vehicle and its deadly occupant. If you see a silver in color vehicle matching this description driving dangerously, we urge you to call the police. If you tell them you're a crime reports and rewards reporter, which anyone reporting crime automatically is, and a press release says a crime reports and rewards reporter made the tip that resulted in an arrest, you will be paid. We've noticed a real uptick in private individuals' guns and ammo being stolen. Here's the most recent report that came in. The victim stated that he left his residence at approximately 1600 hours on 07/30/2015. The victim stated that he returned at approximately 2120 hours. The victim noticed that his window to his master bedroom was open. The victim also noticed that his nightstand had been opened and an ammo box moved from next to the nightstand. The victim called the police at this point. The officer is Randall Amos and John Logue, responded to the scene and observed that the victim had two windows that were damaged. While looking at the rear of the residence, the left window had the bottom pane broken out by what appeared to be a round object. The window was also open. The victim stated that he thought all of his windows were locked but could not say for certain. It did not appear that entry could have been made through this window due to most of the windows still being intact, and most of the debris on the inside of the house appeared undisturbed other than glass from the window being broken from the outside. The lifts were turned in from his window under property receipt number 321981 to 400 Walton Way. When they say lifts, what they do is they lift fingerprints on there by putting a carbon black on the fingerprint that adheres to the oily substance fingerprints leave behind, and then they put tape over the top of it. And whenever they do that, they lift the tape off and they're able to put this on the fingerprint machine to run it under the fingerprint database that they keep there. The window to the right, access to the master bedroom, was open and did not appear to have the glass broken. Entry was most likely made through this window. Two firearms were stolen from the nightstand in the master bedroom. The suspect also moved an ammo box but did not take any ammo. No prints were usable to lift on the window or ammo box. There was also a bag of small electronic cords that were moved and opened, but none of the electronics were taken. The victim stated that there was a large water jug, one commonly used in offices, with approximately $100 in US dollars in change. The jug was located in his master bedroom, so I guess they stole his change also. Except for the broken window to the guest room, the rest of the house appeared to be undisturbed and nothing else was taken. There were medications in plain view in the kitchen, firearm, non-operation of a case in the living room that was not taken. A front door was locked and the deadbolt was still locked on the victim's arrival to the house. So they came in through the window and they stole his guns. Now, we have intel indicating that something big is going to happen after a gathering on 10/10/15. You're probably hearing this first on Crime Reports and Rewards. You guys are typically up to a year ahead on news by watching Crime Reports and Rewards. Our intel gathering is the best in this area by a mile, well, actually by a year. And basically what's happening is there are a bunch of very violent, mean, nasty people who are extorting our government. And they're saying they're going to come to Washington, D.C. on 10/10/15 for a justice or else. So what they're saying is they're going to get justice for some perceived wrong that a whole bunch of bad guys feel like they've been wronged or else. Well, you know, when you put a threat out like that, that's sort of extortive or blackmail. You're going to do this or I'm going to do that. If you look that up, that's a extortion or blackmail threat. So there is a conspiracy to, apparently, there is a suspected conspiracy. We don't want to get in trouble with the bad guys. They seem to have a direct line to the FBI. But there is apparently a suspected conspiracy that is going to be launched on 10/10/15. And we have noticed that a uptick in weapons and things that can be used to loot and burn an entire city, such as this one indicates that it's going to be in this area. Most likely Atlanta, but it could be another area. And that they're going to bus people in very similar to what they did in Baltimore. Baltimore was a pre-planned looting and burning occasion where they loaded people up in vans, brought them into the area, and they looted and burned Baltimore. That particular incident was set off by a text or a tweet that was sent out to people that are affiliated with this group of people who loot and burn our cities. And they said, purge at a certain mall at a certain time. And that's where the Baltimore riots began. So we have intel indicating that after these groups of people go to Washington on 10/10/15, they apparently are suspected of blackmailing our government or extorting our government with a threat that says justice or else. Well, justice for what? Nobody around here, for sure, our family, wasn't even anywhere near the South whenever things that were very bad happened in the distant past. But agitators who are not very fond of America, from what we can tell, some of them are saying get rid of the rebel flag. Well, okay. We don't follow that flag anyway. The only flag we follow are the flag that is draped across the coffins of our brothers and sisters who come back from fighting for our rights. But this purge, this extortion, this blackmail is set up to meet in Washington on 10/10/15. If you have any information about these stolen guns or any of the other stolen guns that are accelerating in thefts, we urge you to call the FBI, local police. I'll tell you right now, we've already got NSA, inside man at NSA looking into this. We've already got the governor's office looking into this. We already have Department of Homeland Security looking into this. And Crime Reports and Rewards was the first people to spot this and alert the authorities to look into this. So when you're watching Crime Reports and Rewards, you can be up to a year ahead of every other news media simply by tuning in to Crime Reports and Rewards. Go to our Facebook page, like us and follow us so you can stay up to a year ahead of all the other news networks, and let us know what you think. If the police get a tip from you as a Crime Reports and Rewards tipster, and they do a press release saying that a Crime Reports and Rewards tip led to the arrest of these gun thieves or any of the other gun thieves or any of the extorters or blackmailers or really anybody, if your Crime Reports and Rewards tip leads to an arrest, you will be paid. The Augusta Chronicles crime reporter Doug Stutzman reports Church's Chicken on Peach Orchard Road was robbed of its safe. An Augusta fast food restaurant was robbed early Monday when employees arrived at Church's Chicken on Peach Orchard Road about 8 a.m. A safe that had been bolted to the wall was gone. Wow, how do you get a safe that's bolted to the wall? That is unreal. You can't imagine how hard that is. The drive-through window had been broken out and the cash register was found on the floor, according to a Richmond County Sheriff's Office incident report. A store manager said $700 was in the safe, while the safe itself was valued at $500. No kidding, I believe it. And installing that sucker probably cost another $100, so that's $12, $13, about almost $1,400 worth of damage done to Church's Chicken because they broke out the drive-through window and trashed the cash register. Drive-through window is a lot of money. These things are not cheap, folks. So if you like Church's Chicken, you need to go buy Church's Chicken and support them on Peach Orchard Road, or you may not have a Church's Chicken on Peach Orchard Road much longer. If you think you know who did this very bad thing to Church's Chicken on Peach Orchard Road, we urge you to contact the police. If they do a press release saying a crime reports and rewards tipster like you made the tip that allowed them to arrest this chicken thief, chicken money thief, chicken money safe thief, then you will get paid. WFXG's Fox 54's Tiffany Takahati reports one person was injured in a shooting on Kissenbauer Road. A suspect is in custody after a man was shot in the buttocks Tuesday afternoon, according to the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. Deputies said the shooting happened on Kissenbauer Road about 4 p.m. The victim, 38-year-old Bobby Holland, then rode his bike, ouch, to Providence Place Apartments at 2205 Southgate Drive. Residents heard him calling for help and called 911 at 5:12 p.m. Deputies have a suspect in custody. They said the victim knew the shooter. The incident is still under investigation. Well, since they've still got an investigation on a man being shot in the buttocks and then riding his bike all the way over there, we want to know, how do you ride a bike that far when you've been shot in the buttocks? I guess he didn't sit down much. If you know anything about this case that can help clear up why the poor guy was shot in the buttocks, or even more important, why he rode all the way over there after he got shot in the buttocks, or the most important thing of all is, how do you ride a bike that far after being shot in the buttocks? Please, we urge you to call the police. If you want to make a comment on all the bad jokes on this particular report, please go to Griff Griffin on Facebook or go to our CrimeReportsAndRewards.com Facebook page and let us know what you think.
Crime Reports and Rewards is brought to you by WBEK Channel 16, Crime Reports and Rewards is a production of Michael's Media. You've been watching Crime Reports and Rewards with Griff Griffin and Dave Michaels, where you stay anonymous, the criminals don't.